Join a tribe where everybody is keeping score of similar things. Join a game. You're joining an arena with a game where the people are playing the game that you want to play. To continue on with the lecture series, where we're picking up right here is that it is nearly impossible to change attractor fields without being willing to change your environments. Right? If you think of it, as you've been living your emotional experience, you've naturally been drawn to certain environments that harmonize with your emotional experience. So if you're trying to level up your emotional experience, but you're not willing to let go of your environments that you keep going to, you're gonna have a hard time, nearly impossible, to level up your emotional experience while being in the same emotional environment that you're familiar to. Or it's going to take a lot of energy. Like, just imagine, if we go back to the different, like the library versus the rock concert. Yeah, you can have a rock concert at a library, but it's going to take a lot of energy. A lot more energy than going and setting up at a bar, because the bar is set up for that type of environment. Or if you go to a concert venue, the concert venue is set up for that type of environment. And vice versa. You could set up a library during a rock concert, but holy crap, it's going to be hard. It's going to be a lot of energy, right? So it's nearly impossible to change fields without changing the environment. So you can, so if you look at your home environment, like, okay, cool, it's easy with the rock concert and the library, but let's look at your house. Let's look at your room. You want to be, if you want to feel like acceptance, and you want to feel peace and joy with your living environment, but you live in a pigsty, it's going to be real hard for you to feel that. Why? Because the environments don't support each other. Like, it's hard for you. How do you feel joy? How do you feel joy if you're living in a pigsty, if you're living in a low energy environment? No, your natural expression is going to be to, hey, I love my environment, I love my house, I love my room. Because you love your room and you love your place, you're going to want to express that love in respect towards it. Respecting your environment is also an expression of respecting those around you. It's respecting the life around you, the expression of life around you. So you'll naturally want to clean it up. If you don't clean it up, you're probably going to fall back to your old way of thinking. Why? Because your environment is what's cueing you for what the state of the environment is. So you want to have as many cues for the new state of environment that you're trying to put yourself in, that you're trying to keep yourself in, as possible. So if you're trying to build a skill, if you're trying to level up your finances, right, but you're used to hanging out with people who have negative belief patterns or negative emotional patterns around finances, if you don't change your tribe, you're going to stay with the tribe. You're going to keep being one of those people who has those negative emotional patterns around finances. So if you want to change how you feel about money, if you want to change what you experience about money, you have to change how you feel about money. And in order to change how you feel about money, you need to put yourself in an environment where the emotional pattern is different, right? So join a tribe that supports the new emotional field. Join a tribe that supports the new emotional field that you're trying to harmonize with. What is this? It's just... All right. You got to join a tribe that supports the new field that you're trying to harmonize with. So if it doesn't matter what it is, like, maybe for you it's joining a real estate investment group. I'm sure there's a ton of them around. It has nothing to do with because you're like, I can't invest in real estate right now. But by just being in the room, it's going to change how you feel about money, because you're connecting to people who feel differently about money. It's more and more, as I've come to learn, like, there are people who I've learned about who have invested in real estate with none of their own money. They found a deal and then the person gave them a percentage of equity for finding the deal. And then the real estate deal develops, they sell it, and they got their percentage of equity. So you never know what the field or how the field is going to organize life around you. But if you don't change the energy state of your field, then you're going to keep living the life that you've always lived. Okay? So if you want to change your field, if you want to change the life that you get to witness, first you got to keep score of the things that you want to see more of, and then join a tribe that supports the new emotional field. Join a tribe where everybody is keeping score of similar things. Join a game. You're joining an arena with a game where the people are playing the game that you want to play. And prioritize keeping that environment joyful and respectful. And that environment is for you. So if you join an environment and you're motivated from a perspective of joy, you want to do your best to keep that environment joyful. And you're on you and from them. If you have any state, you're a gatekeeper of, you want to keep the negative emotional patterns out of the room. You're a gatekeeper of that. It's like, this is a bad example. It's just a really clear example. But what's the Planned Parenthood? There's that, Planned Parenthood offers abortion. It's an abortion clinic, right? I remember there was a protest happening outside of one. And there's all these people protesting on the outside, protesting the clinic. There is a gate outside. And the Planned Parenthood clinic had to keep those people, the negative people, out. Regardless as to how you feel about Planned Parenthood. I'm sure that some of you, if you have strong feelings about it, you're probably triggered and you're probably not even listening anymore. That's your loss, because this has nothing to do with Planned Parenthood. It's just a really clear example. It could be applied to also any other protesters. I once was invited to go to a protest, and I said, oh, absolutely not. I feel way too good to go to a protest. And she was amazed at what I said. But because people, when they go to protests, they're angry. Why do you want to go be in an angry mob? Unless you feel angry yourself. Right? So, but being in an angry emotional pattern is just going to reinforce that angry emotional pattern in you. Okay, so if you want to feel better around a topic, you have to go put yourself in an environment, in an attractor field that will help reinforce that new emotional pattern that you're trying to adopt. Because it's nearly impossible to do it without changing fields. Do you absolutely have to? Technically, you could do it on your own. But you won't, but that's like, it's you're trying so, it's almost like to do it on your own is operating from pride and ego. Because you're like, I can do it on my own, I don't need anybody else. Okay, but you're still, it comes back to the root problem though of you're pinching yourself off from the universe. If you try to do it without the help of others, you're working so much harder than you would ever have to work. You're not letting the field to do all the work for you. The field is the one who has to do the work, not you. You're not supposed to do anything. You're supposed to witness. Witness how the field organizes life around you and how you get to experience the physical sensations of life as they arise around you. That's your job. The more that you try to think I gotta do it myself, the harder it's gonna be because you're not doing your job. It's really hard to get promoted if you're not doing your job. If you're hired to install a door and gosh, if you're hired to install a door, but you spend all your time on, or you're hired to install electricity, and you spend all your time trying to decide what wires to pick or what bulbs to install, you spend all that time doing that stuff, you're not getting promoted. You're not doing your job. Your job is to install the electricity. Or you spend all the time trying to if you're hired to install the door, but the entire time that you're there, you're trying to talk to the people about like how you're actually trying to do a side business, and you're not installing the door, you're not getting promoted. You're not even getting booked for another job. So your job is not to do your job of life is to give witness to life as it organizes itself around you according to the emotional attractor field that you get to live. And then, level up if you choose. Go to school, learn lessons. Some people say like life on planet Earth is a school. Learn what you got to learn, and as you learn what you got to learn, you're going to level up. So that's the whole. There you go. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to end this video because I'm going to start repeating myself.